for the next hour, bringing you a jam-packed show. Now be sure to get us on X. It's a Trendz on SABC. Reporting to you live from the SABC studios here in Auckland Park. Let the show begin. Now, Mzansi's official Buy Local campaign seeks to create jobs in the country by encouraging consumers to buy locally produced products. The proudly South African organization recently hosted the annual Fashion Police in promotion of SA's fashion industry Lana in Mzansi. For this third annual, the consumers were judged by 4 formidable fashion designers who ultimately selected 4 winners that walked away, listen here, with 20,000 Rand worth of fashion. Now we are joined by Chief Marketing Officer of Proudly South African, MaKhumalo Ngidi, and one of the judges and designer extraordinaire, Otis Seflo, to tell us more about Mzansi's fashion industry. They're here with me in studio. Welcome to Trendz Live.
Thank you for having us.
Hello, Happy. I just want to start with you, Ne. With this week having been the busy week for fashion in Mzansi, any talent, any future that you can be proud of?
A lot to be proud of. Ngibone fashion, ngibone ukuthi South Africans bayathanda ukujuwisha, bayathanda ukuswenka. You know, thank goodness, because we have the likes of Otis, who makes sure ukuthi you know, they're here to remind us, South Africans, ukuthi we've got great products and clothes, obviously, and we generally like looking good as South Africans, and say to show off here. So this week it's being about just local fashion.
And I just want to bounce this one over to you, Otis. You being an extraordinary designer, right? What stood out for you this week?
Sure, there's been a whole lot of things. I mean, we just won the Feather Awards. And from the Feather Awards, I mean, last night we had Fashion Police. We had such a beautiful event with the Fashion Police. And again, I mean, there's quite a lot of activities and events that have been happening this past week.
Yeah. So with you, Happy, being the Chief Marketing Officer, right? I just want us to start here. You seeing the Fashion Week, right, and then Proudly SA, would you say that it will benefit or is benefiting the growth and the economic structure here in Mzansi?
I'm glad you're saying that, because last night, as I was addressing the audience at the fashion show, I did allude to the fact that local Fashion Police by Proudly South African in the next 2-3 years will be a massive movement. The same par as Fashion Week, if you like, but not as competition. Proudly South African is not in the business of fashion. We just like things and local things. You know?
Somewhere in
the mix. But we will complement Fashion Week for the benefit of the clothing, textile, footwear, leather sector, which is labor intensive, employs a lot of people. The value chain is massive, and it keeps South Africans employed in the industry.
So then, Otis, what is the judging criteria? You know, for you to choose the 4 selected winners, what were you looking for or looking at from each designer?
I mean, we had to look at pizzazz, we had to look at what they were wearing. I mean, there were a whole lot of people that actually entered the competition, and I like that they made an effort to look great, and they were all wearing local. I think that's the most important thing. So they had to wear local, and they had to have some kind of attitude to it, and stand out.
So Happy, from day one up until now, how would you say the campaign evolved? Do you see different tastes? Do you see new creativity? Do you see, people pushing the boundaries, or people are still trying to play it safe, don't want to tap on any toes? Has it evolved?
In a big way. People are pushing boundaries. We're not shy as South Africans. And so it's the 3rd year. And, we've seen that the first year was a bit lukewarm, though it was, well received and people embraced it. Last year, it showed growth. This year, massive. I mean, I did say to the designers, Otis, JJ, Opalisa, they've got their job cut out for them. We saw a lot of South Africans from all over the country, friends, girlfriend and boyfriend, couples, families entering, showcasing their, casual wear, couture, red carpet, or, whatever it is that made them look comfortable, made them look good, and made them look the way they could relate with the fashion in South Africa. And we were saying to them, don't worry about the fact that you don't have money, because the perception is that the likes of Otis are too expensive. And that's not necessarily true. They're not too expensive, and maybe the quality quality is not quite good, and we are here as proudly South African to say that people could have bought the clothes from a local retail store, a seamstress down the road from them, a designer like Otis, or whatever the case may be, just to show off that South Africa has got great talent. We've got, I mean, the fashion show yesterday, we could take that and replicate it in New York. Sure. That's how good the clothes were.
So the standard is standardy.
Yeah, it's a standard. Yes.
So Otis, I just want to go to you as a fashion designer, right? How would you say the challenges of a fashion designer in Mzansi are, and how can those be improved?
I mean, for me, it's always been the fashion schools, number one. Yeah. We don't have enough fashion schools that focus on equipping them with the knowledge and the skills that they need. And again, even having to scale, where we now have to find ourselves in a position where there isn't much assistance in terms of growing the businesses. And again, for me, if I had to advise the young ones, I'd even say to them that they need to go and intern with other designers so that they can learn, understand the business side of fashion, instead of now it being about looking glamorous and making beautiful clothes, but yet you're not running it from a business point of view. Yeah.
Running it from a business point of view, something powerful that he said, right? Now, I want us to talk to that young, aspiring fashion designer who wishes to see themselves one day, you know, working with the likes of you. Great names at that, right? I'm starting with you, Happy. Where do they start?
And this is where they start. I mean, at Proudly South African, we want to have an inclusive approach. And in fact, last year we saw a lot of young people who are in the design space who said to us, you know, this campaign looks amazing, but how do we become part of it? How do I, as a young person, become the next Otis or the next Palisa? And we listened and we heard them. So this year we added a new element to it, where we partnered with the school, fashion school, and we had them in one room, and we had a session, and we had some of our old designers that worked with us last year and the year before, and some of the new ones, and the session was called you know, Journey to Retail, because young people, they see the Otis's work on a ramp and they think this is it. We had to expose them to the real business of running a fashion house, behind the scenes, the jobs behind the scenes, the discipline behind the scenes, the, you know, the focus, the fact that you know, he could have 6 people working for him. Somebody has to source fabric, somebody has to source the buttons and the zips, those are jobs. And so we're exposing these young people that what you see on the ramp is not even a true reflection of what the business of fashion is all about.
So she tapped on it not being the true image of what fashion is, because we think that, you know, you just come up with a shirt miraculously. Asking, or rather still marrying to that question of that young aspiring fashion designer, how do you as Otis say, you know what, my boy or my girl, this is how you can do it. Don't do this, but rather do that.
I mean, there's other things that we need to focus on and you know, create a bit of a spotlight on. People think that being a fashion designer is just about fashion. There's a whole lot of other spaces well within the fashion industry. There's trend forecasters, there's fashion buyers, there's fashion writers. So we need to understand, where do you want to go? Where do you want to see yourself? Do you just want to make beautiful clothes and be a fashion designer? And again, even well within that space, there's a whole lot of categories. We've got couturist, we've got ready-to-wear, we've got street fashion, we've got a whole lot of... Understand where you want to go and what you want to do for yourself as a designer. Then from there you find right people that are in those platforms and you merge with them, and or find a way of how you can learn from them.
So just shortly, just briefly, give us your signature look. I always hear these fancy English words, you know, with my signature look. I just want us to do for you. I want you to give the viewer your signature look, Otis, when we're looking at his fashion work.
Sure. My signature look is, it has to be meticulously made. Everything, our finishing is impeccable. And our beadwork, I mean, our beadwork is amazing as well. So I don't think I've got like a signature look, but I can tell you that all my clothes are well customized and they're well made and well finished.
Definitely. And then from you, Happy, being Chief Marketing Officer, right? I just want you to think that marketing mind. Local as lekker. What should we expect? Marrying that to Proudly South Africa.
That we have to have a bigger appreciation of who we are as people, be proud of our own manufacturing capability and skill that we have, because we do have it. It's a myth and a mindset shift that our products are inferior, they're too overly priced, but if somebody else, you know, a brand that starts with that word G, which I won't mention, you know, and they sell you their pair of jeans for whatever, nobody questions that guy. But somebody will question Otis and say it's inferior quality and all of that. But also just to quickly touch on his style, I think he's graceful
Yeah.
and elegant. You should have seen me last night.
Ooh,
yeah, let me just...
Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Thank you.
We look forward to more.
Yeah.
And the next one, I'm definitely going to be there.
Gotta be there. You must enter. You have to
Definitely.
win 20,000 rand. Maybe it'll be more.
He must wear Otis.
And wear
Wear
Otis.
Otis.
Yeah.
Definitely, Mzansi. Now you heard it yourself. Go and wear Otis. Stop buying amatawula for 20,000 rand. You know what I'm talking about. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we are talking more performances, more music. Listen, it's going to be a beautiful show. Just be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Don't forget to follow us on X. It's at Trendz on SABC. It's only the beginning, and it's about to be a jam-packed show. Let's go for a quick break. We'll be right back.